Manchester United walked into the Roses derby against Leeds United in what looked like the perfect situation. With 24 valuable days of rest, Michael Carrick's men felt like a coiled spring, ready to explode against a side struggling near the bottom of the table. Everything seemed to be in United's favor: the comfort of Old Trafford, superior fitness, and a clear edge in the standings. And yet, when the final whistle blew, the scoreboard read 2-1. Old Trafford, the theater of dreams, had turned into the stage of a nightmare. This wasn't just about dropped points. It exposed a massive flaw in United's tactical system, and right at the center of it was Manuel Ugarte, a player expected to be the team's anchor, but instead, he became the weight dragging the whole ship down. The warning signs appeared almost immediately, at a moment when focus should have been at its highest. Just 90 seconds into the game, Ugarte made a clumsy mistake, losing the ball right in midfield. Leeds reacted instantly with a lightning-fast counter-attack, and if it weren't for a brilliant save from Lamens to deny Calvert-Lewin, the damage could have come even earlier. That moment wasn't just a simple individual error. It felt like the opening signal of a long, uncomfortable night for the Uruguayan midfielder, who was tasked with filling in for Kobbie Mainoo. At the highest level, a £50 million price tag usually comes with expectations, composure, intelligence, and control. But for Ugarte, that price tag is starting to hang heavy around his neck. Instead of being the ball-winning machine clearing the path for Bruno Fernandes and the attacking players to shine, Ugarte often looked like an obstacle in United's own build-up play. His struggles to escape pressure didn't just hurt him individually. They triggered a negative domino effect that spread across the entire team. Watching the instability behind him, Bruno Fernandes was forced to drop deeper, all the way to the center circle, just to help move the ball forward. And when Bruno has to play as a deep-lying carrier, he loses his connection with the attack. Those sharp, decisive passes in the final third almost disappeared, leaving United's play looking blunt, predictable, and easy to defend. The defensive line was constantly under pressure. Ugarte's habit of choosing safe sideways or backward passes whenever he was pressed kept pushing the entire team deeper and deeper. United completely lost their edge in transitions. Leeds took full advantage of the gray zone around Ugarte, dominating space and control. The opening goal said it all. Jadon Bogle had all the time in the world to deliver a cross from the right, and Okafor was there to finish it off. What happened against Leeds wasn't just a one-off. It felt like part of a worrying pattern, something you could almost call the Ugarte curse. Since March 2025, a harsh reality has started to emerge. Manchester United seem to forget how to win when Ugarte starts. In the Premier League alone this season, he started 10 matches and won just once against Newcastle on Boxing Day. Looking at the bigger picture since arriving at the club, he started 30 games and only managed 6 wins. For a club trying to rebuild and return to the top, those numbers are devastating, and they explain why Ineos are quickly running out of patience. The frustration built up from Ugarte's performances has now accelerated United's plans to rebuild their midfield. With Casemiro almost certain to leave when his contract expires, Ineos have already identified their #1 target, Morten Hjulmand from Sporting. And there's a cruel twist to this story. Back in 2023, Hjulmand was the man brought in to replace Ugarte at Sporting. Now, history looks set to repeat itself, with Hjulmand expected to take over that same role once again, this time at Old Trafford. So why is Morten Hjulmand seen as the perfect solution, not just to replace Casemiro, but also to fix the problems left behind by Ugarte? Unlike Ugarte's style, which relies heavily on physicality and sometimes crosses the line into recklessness, Hjulmand brings a much more modern understanding of positional play. He knows exactly when to slow the game down to keep control and when to fire a line-breaking pass that cuts straight through the opposition. It's the kind of presence United have been missing in midfield ever since Michael Carrick retired. And then there's his natural leadership. Being handed the captain's armband at Sporting says everything about his character. Manchester United are crying out for a true leader in midfield, someone who doesn't just play but organizes, directs, and keeps everyone in shape. Hjulmand offers exactly that. At an expected fee of around £43.5 million, He also represents smart business for Ineos. It's a far more reasonable investment compared to chasing Premier League stars with inflated £100 million price tags. And his physical profile, combined with his technical ability, looks perfectly suited to English football. But United won't have a free run at him. Manchester City, Liverpool, and Tottenham are all in the race. Signing Hjulmand wouldn't just be another transfer, it would be a statement. A clear message that United are ready to fix the mistakes of the past, including the costly gamble on Ugarte. And the nightmare against Leeds didn't end with the final whistle. Lisandro Martinez, the heart of United's defense and the only player truly capable of building from the back, saw red after a clash with Calvert-Lewin. That dismissal doesn't just rule him out for 3 matches, it leaves Carrick dealing with a full-blown defensive crisis. With Harry Maguire potentially facing further punishment from the FA and Matthijs de Ligt still sidelined with a long-term back injury, United's backline is now hanging by a thread. All that's left is the raw, inexperienced energy of Lenny Yoro. Looking ahead to the next game against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, the situation feels incredibly fragile. If Ugarte is trusted again to sit in front of a patched-up defense, possibly featuring youngsters like Aiden Heaven, just 19, or Tyler Fredrickson, 21, then Carrick is taking a massive gamble. And right now, it's a gamble that could cost Manchester United everything. Without a centre-back like Lisandro Martinez, someone who reads the game brilliantly and cleans up mistakes, the weakness called Ugarte will only become more exposed, especially if the Uruguayan continues to start. And Chelsea will be watching closely. With their pace, movement, and the unpredictable brilliance of Cole Palmer, they will almost certainly target that exact area in midfield. Carrick is now facing a brutal decision. Stay loyal to his player like he did after the Leeds defeat, or make the tough call and drop him to protect United's top 4 ambitions. Right now, Manchester United still sit third with 55 points, holding a 7-point gap over Chelsea. On paper, they're in control of the race for a Champions League spot, but football isn't played on paper. When you look at the lack of energy in recent performances and how quickly the system collapses without Mainu or Martinez, fans have every reason to worry about a late-season meltdown. The defeat to Leeds wasn't just a bad result. It was a loud wake-up call to everyone at the club. Mistakes from the past, emotional signings, or players who simply don't fit the system, like Ugarte, need to be addressed. If Manchester United truly want to return to the top, they don't just need strong players. They need intelligent footballers, players who understand space, control tempo, and make the right decisions under pressure. The summer of 2026 will be a defining moment for Ineos and their rebuilding project. A signing like Morten Hjulmand could be the first step toward a new era, one where midfield vulnerability is no longer a constant problem. Old Trafford needs fighters, yes, but more than anything, it needs thinkers. Players who can bring control and clarity back to the game. Because if United can't fix the issues around Ugarte and their fragile defense, then all of Carrick's efforts will feel like building a castle on sand.